I've lived by the seaside and I've lived by harbours, and I've understood that there's so much waste that comes into those places. But there's beauty within that, and that's something that I wanted to put on stage to show that these things do exist, and we're trying to create an art piece that we can see on stage that also we can act around and we can utilise for this show. Hi, my name's Jean Chan. I am the set and costume designer for Lost and Found. I think the story for me is more about where the boy is from and the world that he lives in. And I think the illustrations that Oliver has drawn in his books are quite sparse, beautiful and watercolory and full of life. But yet you could just sometimes have an illustration of a boy and a penguin and that's it. So my job was to design that world and to figure out where these little people live and where they come from.
My name is Morjaria. I am the lighting designer for Lost and Found. What appealed to me aesthetically about this show the most was the colours that we used. The colours were so beautiful and vibrant and clear, and it's a language that could so easily be picked up and translated into a physical thing on stage. And that's what lighting is there to do, to create that kind of watercolour feeling.
The design that I've created is a platform upstage. We have a large projection screen that has a nice sort of surround of flotsam and jetsam, but within that things appear. For me, it was about creating a space that the actors could interact with.
Our job is to take in the whole atmosphere of the show, the emotional journey, and really focus the audience into where they need to look and what they need to do. We're quite lucky with TV and films. The camera will zoom in and it will tell you where to look. Whereas on stage, it's lighting that forces you to look in that direction. And it also forces you to feel that emotion. Everything, along with the sound and the video and the set, we're there to really enhance the story and give you that next level experience.
Whenever I'm designing a show, a lot of my research goes into photography and imagery, and then from that I start drawing and coming up with shapes and ideas for what I would like to see on stage or what would work for the script. For this, it was more photography based and understanding a world that I wanted to create, whether it was something that was realistic like a harbourside in Whitstable, or something that was more illustrative, or something that was more of a sculpture. I then pulled all of those things together to create the thing that I have behind me.
I think an essential part of my job is to work with the other designers and the director and to see how we can collaborate into making that magical look. And a big part of it is how we integrate lighting into the set and the sound. For me, the big part of this was the colour palette and what we're using with that. So Jean and I had quite a few discussions about what colour the floor was, what colour the bits of flotsam and jetsam, so the debris on the sides are, and how we can make that into like a really vibrant colour, but also be able to pin down for those really intimate moments. So much of the play is based on the book, so you can't really ask for much better references when creating a show. I literally just had to open the book to the right page.
I feel like the things that I sort of had when I was a child still carry forth to what I do now. Spending time on a seaside on a beach where I was collecting pebbles and shells and bits of sort of beautiful glass that had been washed up that was all really nice and smooth. Objects can be found and they can be reused, recycled to create something that is installational, but actually something that actors can perform in and tell a story.